Hi there, and today we're continuing to build my upscale snack bar, and last time we got to step 4, and we completed step 4 apart from one piece, and that's the all-important piece which goes in this giant gap to allow our minifigs to come in and out, and that is the dreaded red door. So yes, as we can see, we are on step 4, but we haven't quite completed it yet. These are the parts we've built so far. This is the part we're going to build today, and then obviously these are the rest of the parts we've got to build to complete the snack bar. So for some of you, this part will have been a long time coming. I normally have 3 or 4 weeks between parts of this video, so I have enough time to buy extra parts to build the next step. But on top of ordering the parts, I also had to design the door. And I've been through quite a few iterations. One evening, a few weeks ago, I sat down at my laptop just after eating our evening meal, and I spent 6 hours straight trying to work out how I was going to join the door part to the pillar part. So without any further ado, and definitely no more procrastination, we're going to stop all delays. We're not going to have any more beating around the bush, and there's definitely going to be no more dilly-dallying. Yes, I'm just going to have to build the door, aren't I? Now, quite a few videos ago, I did say that I wanted to build the door only 1 stud wide, and however, this is going to be about 30 bricks high. When you stack 30 bricks on top of each other, it's completely fragile and falls apart as soon as you look at it. So the only other way I was going to do it was to build it 2 studs wide. But I then got a lot of comments saying people would prefer me to build it snot technique, so we would have plates on the door instead of bricks on the door. And I finally succumbed to peer pressure from you all, and so that's the route I eventually took. So this lovely thin door is going to be 3 plates thick by the end of this video, with the option that we could go to a 4th plate if we want to. However, the only way to get the curve on the column is to use a whole stack of these 3x3 curved bricks. So for the main part of the door, we're going to have studs facing forward, and for the rest of the door, we're going to have studs facing upward, and trying to find a very solid connection to join those 2 parts together to still allow our door to open and shut, and the members of the public potentially handle it as well, was a really tricky problem. Now, there are 3 slightly different versions of this door, and the differences all come down to the stud at the top and the anti-stud at the bottom. On the first version, they are both completely circular. On the second version, we've got 1 right-angled corner, and on the third version, the bottom stud's got 2 right-angled corners and it's enclosed on the top. Now, as you can see, the door that I got with my set was the second version. However, Bricklink can't definitively tell me that this was the only door that ever came in this set. So for ease and strength, I'm going to actually choose the third door with the enclosed bottom stud and also with the second corner joining up to the bottom of the door, as I found the bottom anti-stud on the other 2 versions was just too weak once I'd upscaled it. So I have to admit, I'm not entirely sure how this video is going to go. Normally when I build my mocks on this channel, I'm pretty good at remembering how I designed it. So I normally put it together on my build desk here from memory. However, this door is so complicated using so many different types of plate and also in 3 completely separate layers. I have got my Bricklink Studio files next to me and some screen grabs of the layers on my iPad, and I'm going to do my best to try and rebuild it as I designed it. However, I have also ordered extra parts in most of the sizes that I need for the door, just in case I have to do any slight redesigns or tweaks as we go. Also, once I've built the flat layers of the doors, I'll also show you my various prototypes of the different mechanisms I used to try and join the flat layer of the front of the door to the curved column at the side of the door. And once we've gone through those, we're going to build the column and try and attach the 2 parts together. As you can see, I've got 2 stud wide plates in pretty much every size that LEGO make. The same goes for 1 stud wide plates. There's a fairly wide variety of 4 and 3 stud wide plates, and also a fair amount of right angle plates. So just for your reference as I start building, I'm going to build the door in this orientation on the work desk here in its 3 layers of plates. So first layer, we're going to get 2 2x16s along this edge, and then on the top I've got to count my studs as I go. 2, 4, 6, 8. We've got 2 2x8s. Where are the 2x8s? They're over here. We've got 2 2x8s along the top, and then next to those is a 2x3, which are over here. This could end up being an exceptionally long video. And then underneath that, I'm now starting to use right angle brackets. So we've got a right angle 4x4 there. And then what's that? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, a 1x10. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 1x10 going down there. And then our second 4x4 angle. Like that. Then along the bottom, 2, 4, 6, 8, another 1x10. Oh, that's handy. It's going to be 1x10s and 4x4s all the way around. 1x10, 4x4, and don't worry, there is meant to be a gap there of a 1x2, and that means we need another 1x10 up there. This is so sketchy doing it this way. Can't think of any other way to build it though. Right, so there we go. That's our, you can see, hopefully that's the opening for the windows up there. This is going to be so fragile until we start putting our second layer of plates on. Right, then we need inside brackets. So we need our 3x3 brackets. Where are they? Here they are. So these are the ones that go around all the other corners. So we've got one there. Then we've got one back to back with it here. Then we're going to have the same on the other side. There's a teeny tiny 1x2 gap there which you're going to have to fill in with a 1x2 in a minute. Then the same at the top and the bottom. Now you may question why I'm using certain pieces in certain ways, but I wanted to make sure that joints got crossed over by the second layer of plates. So this layer is fairly bitty with lots of small parts, but I wanted to make sure that when I built it up it would be as strong as it could possibly be. So trust me on this. Right, now we're going to fill in all these gaps with little 1x2s. We've got one here. It's like a little patchwork I'm building here, isn't it? There's no way I would have remembered this off the top of my head without my crib sheet just off camera here. When I'm finished, I'll open up my studio file and give you a quick whiz around it. There we go. Have I got them all in? Yes, I think I have. Right, then what are we doing between? So 4 more of those in the centre. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. And there'll probably be a lot of debate about the size of these windows, and I did measure them as closely as I could, and they aren't 100% identical to 6x scale, but they're the best I can do to still keep it as strong as possible. So I came up with lots of lovely designs in Bricklink Studio, but they just wouldn't have held together. So especially if you are a person who sent me a design yourself and are screaming out now, no Jez, why are you doing it like that? Trust me, I've been through many iterations of this. Oh, I've missed out 1x2 there, and I had to bear in mind what it looked like, but also trying to get the whole thing to hold together. Ah, this is so fragile. Right, there we go. There's the top of our door, as you can see. Ta-da! Right, now we need to build the bottom half, which is a lot more easy because it's just a whole bunch of huge plates. So we've got 1 and 2, and then we need a 2 by the same height. So these are 4x12s and a 2x12. Then we need another 4x12. However, we're dropping it down by 2 studs, so we're going to put a 2x4 above it. Then lastly, another 4x12, which is handy. I needed a lot of these because I got these off a pick brick wall ages ago, so they were absolutely free for this build, which is good. And then a 2x3. We haven't used any of those yet. Yes, we have got one up there, and we've got now one up there, one in its opposite corner down here. And then a 2 by, what would that be? 4, 8, 10, 2x10 along the bottom. Well, that's clearly not a 2x10, is it? That'll be a 2x10 because that fits in. And there we have a very fragile and sketchy looking first layer of a red door. So like I said, I thought I'd show you what I'm building from. So this is my Bricklink studio file, and I've separated it out. So I've got the complete door, but I've then separated it out into its separate layers so I can see all the separate parts. And if you lay the pieces flat and then select them all, obviously you can then see the joints between them. When they're unselected, it's just a sea of red and you can't see which pieces are which. So onto layer 2, I have actually just slid the entire door this way out my desk because I can't move my tripod that way to get it in better shot that direction. So I've slid the whole thing up this way and it's pretty much stayed together. So, but like I said, onto layer 2. So we've got to start with a 4x12, and we're going to click that on top of an awful lot of plates at this end. And hopefully, I see, not going to be easy to do, is it? May have to do it part by part. Yes, I think that may be the better way to do it, but you can see instantly there's an awful lot of pieces now held together. Where does that one go? That one goes there, and then that one goes there. Right. And then after that 4x12, we've got a 4x6, which will hold all of these items together. These corner plates were a vital thing, trying to keep the two layers as strong as possible, because the wonderful thing about those is as soon as we've now got those plates on top, all those corners are locked in place. I could have done it with just 2x plates coming down, but then we'd have had an issue in the middle trying to stagger the joints. So I thought using a lot of these corner plates would give it a lot of strength, and that's pretty good already, I think. Right, let's keep going. What do we need the other end? That's a 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, a 1x10. 1x10? There we go, 1x10, which should bring us down to the bottom of the door, which it does, but it joins us up to that corner piece, and then the outside of that we've got a 1x6 going there. Then coming across we've got a 2x6. Oh, that's going to join an awful lot of pieces together. So those two corners, that one in the middle, and the two corners in the middle, that's looking good. And I imagine I've got a 2x6 other side. Yes, I have. So how many gaps do I leave? 2. Nope, that's in the wrong place. Ah! Right. I think fingers is better than trying to use a brick separator. Let's ease that one off. That's not too bad, actually. That's meant to be one plate over. So if I put that one back, that's meant to be sitting there. Right, yes. And then if we get another 2x6, that one can sit. This is so difficult to do. Right, we're getting somewhere. Look, this is quite good. All that's now held together. We just need to join a few more pieces up. Right, so what's coming down here? It's not a 2x6, so we've got a very long one. So it's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, a 2x16. Oh, that's so many pieces to join up. That's going to be a nightmare, isn't it? Right, slide these on over. So that is going to join all those. Ah! Bits are sliding everywhere. That doesn't look right. That goes in there. That goes in there. That goes in there. And that's not in the right place. Ah, because that one's moved. Look, that's not in the middle. Let's slide that one along one stud. Right, let's go back to working down. Let's get this side fixed in place, then we can worry about the bottom in a second. And my iPad has turned itself off, so I can't see my design anymore. Right, log back in again. What do we have on this side? A 4x8, holding the top bunch together. So that's going to come down to the crossbar. If I line all those up, that's got those. Then we're underneath, we've got another 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, a 4x12. Oh, lots of bits to join up with that one too. So that goes there, that one goes there. So we're joining all those up and getting onto that piece. Right, get that one on there. Yes, superb. Then across here, not a 2x6, a 4x6. So that then grabs hold of those plates below it. Oh, this is coming together well. It's not the easiest build I've ever done, but it's going okay. Right, what goes down that side? We've got another 6. 1 by 12. It looks like 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. 1 by 12. That's 1 by 12. And that goes all the way down there. Look, that's all held in now apart from that one piece there. And what goes the other side? Another 4 by 6. So mirroring this side. Let's put all those pieces in there. That last tiny little 1 by 2 will get locked in place. There we go. Then on the outside, this won't make any sense right now, but it will do on when I join it to the column at the side. We're leaving 2 studs gap and then adding a 1 by 2. Then another 2 studs gap and a 1 by 2. Then we're going to continue to do that all the way down actually. 1 there, and then 1 there, and then 1 right at the bottom of there. Right, not many extra pieces now to still hold in place. Just got 1, 2, 3, 4 more pieces. That's very satisfying that these slide in and out like that. Right, let's build up over here then. So down this side we've got a 2 by 4 needs to go on here. Now, I did find out that 2 by 10s are no longer made in red, and they are exceptionally expensive. So I could find some used ones. In fact, I did buy one used one. It's over here, but it's in a pretty grotty, wasn't as shiny red. So I gave up. I did lots of parts of the design used 4 by 10s, and then I went back and redesigned them because it was going to be a nightmare to try and buy them on Bricklink. Much easier to buy 4 by 8 and a 2 by 4 to go on top of it. Right, all the way along the bottom we need a last 2 by 16, that's next to bottom, so we need a 2 by 6. 2 by 6 goes next to that, like that. And then 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, all the way to the end of 12, is that right? Should stick out 2 studs beyond that. And it does. Brilliant. There we go. Is everything held in? No, 1 piece left, not held in. Right. So here we've got a 2 by 2. Have the 2 by 2's gone. There's 1. And then we're going to also have that inset panel piece around here. So we've got a 1 by, I imagine that's a 1 by 10 going down there. Yes, it is. Then we've got our inset panel in here, which is made from a 4 by 6 and a 4 by 4, and we should be done. No, we haven't, because we've got another plate to go there. So we've got a 4 by 6 there. That can't be a 16. What's that one going to be? No. Ah, there we go. And then a 4 by 4, and this layer is complete. Like that. And we can hold the whole thing up and it doesn't fall apart. So as a starter, I'm pretty pleased with how this is going. Few things I've noticed already. This panel here, very, very wobbly. You can see that that is not being held in by anything. There's nothing crossing joints on that one. What else? I found another one somewhere else. Where was that? Oh, over here. This one over here isn't joined to anything yet. So when we do the tiling on top, I'm going to make sure I try and cover those joints. Otherwise we may have to slightly amend the design as we go along, just to make sure the joints get covered up. So onto the third layer, and we're now swapping from plates to tiles, and we've got some 2 by 2s, we've got some 2 by 3s, 2 by 4s and 2 by 6s, and hopefully that should cover us. And I have got a few extra of each ones just in case we need to change the design as we go along. So we're going to start at the top and work our way down. This should be a nice easy layer. And we've got a 6, a 6, a 3 and a 4, and underneath that we've got 2 6s going down this way. And again, even though that joint is being held together underneath, it's nice to cross over joints in all directions. Then we've got a 6 here and a 6 above the window on the other side, and then we've got a 4 heading downwards, another 4, and 6 crossing over like that, to a 6 and a 2. We'll fill in that gap with a 4. And what's happening over here? We've got a 6 and a, aha, yes, we have got a 2, but we do need to put something in there before we put them on top, so we're going to be leaving those out for now. Actually, that's fairly integral to the design. Let's pause doing the tiles and let's add in the parts that are going to go in here. So that brings us on to the connection that I'm going to use between the flat part of the door and the column at the side of the door. And for this I made the prototypes in real bricks, as I couldn't tell in Bricklink Studio how strong the items were actually going to be. And this is a close-up of the problem I was having. I've got 2 layers of plates with a layer of tiles on top and a column of curved bricks. So it's a way of joining those 2 pieces together which will stay firm and allow the whole piece to rotate within the upscale build itself, but that won't detach from each other either. Now I pretty much ruled out using brackets straight away. As you can see, if we add brackets to the side of this, it does turn the studs 90 degrees, but not in the direction we want them to do. That'd be great for a door like this, but then we'd need a second bracket, set of brackets to turn them this way as well. But also with brackets you can still pull them apart. So I decided the best way would be to use clips and bars, but somehow lock them together. Now this is my first idea, obviously just a 1x2 plate with a bar on it and brick with a clip on it, and yes, we've got a perfect connection between a column of bricks and a stack of plates. However, dead easy to pull apart. It's if we had lots and lots of them, it would make it more difficult, but again it could physically be pulled apart, and I didn't want them to be able to come apart at all. So this is design number 2, trying to make it a little bit more sturdy. We're using 2 bricks with clips and a different bar piece so we can have 2 connection points. The bar piece on this one wasn't wide enough to get 2 bricks in, so I thought, oh well, let's see if we can use 2 bricks. But again, it's a great connection. It is stronger than the other one because we've got have to use more force to pull them apart because we've got 2 clips, but again it can be pulled apart. So next option, I tried to flip the idea around and put the clips on the door part. So we've got now a plate with a clip on this side and then a brick with a bar on this side, and again looks good. We could lock that bar into this piece here and hide the bottom half of it, but it's still, we can pull apart the 2 parts apart. And design number 4, because I realised we could put that bar from the brick into a plate with a stud, or with an open stud on it, I developed this idea. Now this does work, however, you might be able to see that these 2 bricks are being forced apart. It couldn't actually be held together. It's not within Lego's tolerances basically. So as we would move up the column of bricks, they would start to spread out and get bigger on this side than they were on this side. But this is now our first one where we can't pull it apart. What we've got is a brick with a bar on it going into one of those plates with a hole in it, which is resting on a tile there, and so we've got our connection, but that can't be pulled apart because it's sitting inside the hole. So I realised that was the way we had to go. We've had to find a way of sticking a bar into a plate with a hole in it, but also one which had enough space. So clearly we didn't have enough space because these bricks are being spread out by that plate in the middle. And so we come to my final design, which is the one we're using. And if I take it apart, you'll be able to see what we're using. We've got a 1x2 with that bar piece with the 2 connection points. We've got a brick clipping onto that, and then underneath that we've got a round 1x2 plate which has got open studs, so that bar can sit inside that stud, and instantly that now can't be pulled apart because the bar is being held in place. On top we've just got a brick and a plate, so that bar is now sitting in there. If we join our tile together, that is how we're keeping our door together, and no matter how hard I try, they can't be pulled apart. So temporarily turning our door around, that's the pieces which sit in these 1x2 gaps that we've left. So we've got 6 1x2 plates with the bar attachment. That's the one that's flimsy and will need some strengthening. 4, 5 and 6, and so that is our connection points to our curved column next door to the door. But just before we finish off the tiling, a very quick shout out to all my channel members. Thank you so much for your support, it really is appreciated. And if anyone else would like to become a channel member and maybe get their name on a brick in my videos, you can click on the join button below or the link in the description and that'll tell you how. Alternatively, if you're buying anything from lego.com like I did last week with the excellent X-Files set, please use my affiliate link in the description below. It won't cost you any more, but Lego give me a small commission on everything that people buy. So after that small intermission, we're back to tiling off the door, and we're putting that 2x2 where I said we were going to, but on top of our bracket piece now, our plate with the bar, I mean. Then underneath that we've got a 2x6 going across, and then a 2x6, and that should hold in. Yeah, so that now holds in that wobbly plate on that side, so that's looking good. Then we've got a 1x6 in the middle, and then we've got a column of 2x4s, 1x6, sorry, 2x6, column of 2x4s down this side. Now, the OCD in me doesn't like this design of the door because we've got a mishmash of tiles going in different directions. It'd be beautiful if we could have done it all in one direction, however, just not possible to give if we still want it to be strong enough to hold itself together. Then we've got a 2x6 running along the bottom, actually a whole bunch of 2x6s. Let's put them all down together like that. Then a 2x4 and two 1x6s. Now they aren't in this pot here. Hold on a second, it'll be a second for you, but I've just got to go and run inside and find my other red parts. Well, that was a split second for you, but about 15 minutes to me. We've got a little bit of a Lego mystery on our hands. I definitely ordered some 1x6. I've got 8 1x6 red tiles on order. I've got them ticked off as arriving with the order. It came with all the right angle corner pieces, so those ones and many other pieces which I've all got here, and I have absolutely no idea where they are. I've had a large box where I've been throwing all the red parts in ever since I've been placing orders for several weeks. These pieces were ordered 3 weeks ago and they arrived about 2 and a bit weeks ago, but I can't find them anywhere. I've looked in my 1x6 drawer for tiles, can't find them. So thankfully this is where we had some extra pieces and we can adjust our design as we go along. So what I'm going to do, instead of using 2 1x6s, I'm pulling off that 2x4 and I'm using 2 1x8s instead. I'm going to fill in the gap where that 2x4 was with a 2x2. And we've got a 2x3 at the other end, and we've got something extra to go in here, which I'm sure you can guess what it is. Right, our next lines, let's do some 2x6s down this side, like that, 2x4 underneath it, and then 2 2x6s going off in the other direction. Then, running along the bottom, what we've got, a 2x4 on the top row there and a 2x6 underneath it, and then we're filling up that row again with a 2x4 and a 2x6, and above it same thing, 2x4 and a spilling 2x4s everywhere and a 2x6, and then finally up that last side. That piece still hasn't been held in place yet, has it? Up that last side we've got a 2x6 and a 2x2. So that's all our nice smooth area apart from the panel in the middle. So the raised part, we're just going to use a whole row of 2x2s. Actually, if we used some 2x4s going in the opposite direction, that would hold that in place. Let's hold off and see what we're going to put down the outside first. So I'm gonna, see, I decided to have 2x2s going down there, but I don't want to do that because I really need to hold that panel in place. So I'm gonna have a 2x4 going the opposite direction. And I hope this works itself out with the pieces I've got. So this is now nothing like what I've got on my design below. I did have 2x4s going out and a 2x2 and a 2x6, but what we can do instead, if we put the still have the 2x6s being here, if we move them over one, that'll hold the other side of that panel in place, and then we'll just do 2x4s at the other end, like that. And now, yes, that panel's held in nicely now. Yes, so now we can just continue. We don't need to join that, cross over that join. I could put 2 that way to give it some extra strength, and I will if it needs it, but for now let's leave it like that. So there we've got our raised panel in our door in the middle there with our slight recess. Now for the door handle. So for the door handle, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a 1x2 jumper plate there and a 2x2 brick. And by the way, if I do ever find those 1x6s, I will be swapping them out for those 1x8s and stick a 2x4 back as where it was. But let's get on to the door handle first. Then on top of that jumper plate, I've got a 1x2 jumper plate, but the curved one, so semicircle, and I've got one of those and another one, which then brings it up to the same level as that 2x2. And then on top I'm going to put yet another one of those semicircular jumper plates. Then I've got a 1x2 plate and a 2x3 plate with the curved top with the hole in it. Now, I had these back in the day in the 80s as bricks you could put cranes through, so you used to lift up loads in containers using these pieces, but yeah, used for many purposes nowadays. And to smooth the whole thing off, we've got a 1x2 semicircular tile, a 2x2 tile, again crossing over that joint, and lastly a 2x2 tile with a semicircle on the end. Then that gives us our door with the gap behind it. Where's the actual door gone? I'd show you on the actual door, but I can't find it. So I found it, and you can see, yes, on the actual door it does have a gap behind it, and I know many people are going to say, but there is actually a hole all the way through. Yes, I couldn't be bothered to do that bit. I've just kept it true to on the front. I didn't want to lose any structural integrity by making a hole right through the door. Now, right at the beginning of the video, I did say we were going to make this 3 plates thick with the option to go into 4 plates if we wanted to. And we've got our 3 layers. We've got 2 layers of plates with a layer of tiles on top to give it that nice smooth finish. But our option to make it 4 plates thick is by using, oh, I've dropped them on the floor. But our option to, and I've dropped another one. But our option to make it 4 plates thick would be to use inverted tiles, which means we've got a 2x2 smooth tile on this side, but we've got 4 studs on the other, so we could put them on this side and also give it a smooth finish on the back. Now, this would give the door a nice smooth look on the back, but the trade-off would mean it would be a bit thicker. The other downside is that these tiles only come in 2x2 and 1x3, and currently I've only got 8 of these 2x2s. And to cover the whole of the door on the back with these inverted tiles is going to cost me about another £20 to £25. So I don't think it's something I'm going to do in this iteration of the door, but it's maybe something I'll do at a later date. And so there we have our door and most of our upscaled version. And unfortunately, that's all we've got time for this week. My videos always come out on a Friday at 4 PM UK time. So next Friday, we're going to finish off this door. We're going to build that curved column all the way up the side, put a stud on the top and an anti-stud underneath to hopefully make it rotate properly. And then we're going to add it to the rest of the upscale build and see if it works. As always, please let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you've liked this video, please do give it a thumbs up. It really helps me out with the YouTube algorithm. But above everything else, if you haven't done so already, make sure you subscribe for more LEGO videos.